Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Jai Gurudev. We'll just run through this last verse from the absence of fear downwards. Dukkeshvanudvignamanaha Sukheshu Vigataspraha Vitaragabhayakrodhaha Sthitadhiv Munirujyate. The one who is not affected by adversities, who is without yearning for pleasures, and is free from longing, fear, and anger, is said to be a wise person whose knowledge remains. So we saw the threefold source of sorrow. Similarly, the threefold source of pleasures. So wise person's response to sukha. So Krishna also said in this verse that one who is not swept away by either sukha or dukkha is free of likes, fear, and anger. He is vita raga bhaya krodha. Freedom from raga implies freedom from dvesha also. They are a pair. When one is mentioned, the other one is automatically understood to be included. In other words, they go together. The happiness of those who are not in the hands of ragadveshas is not determined by their ragadveshas. Their ragadveshas do not affect their being happy with themselves. The ragadveshas no longer have any teeth. They may be baby ragadveshas or old ragadveshas, but either way, they do not bite because they cannot bite. They can only be enjoyed. This is why the ragadveshas of the wise are referred to as non-binding. They are toothless. The absence of fear. Once raga is gone, fear also goes. Fear exists only when desire is there. And desire is there only when raga dvesha is there. Karma indicates duality. It is due to the notion I am this much alone. Everything else is other than me and I have to get it. Thus, there is duality, meaning that there is a difference between Jiva, the individual, and Ishvara, the Lord, Jiveshwara Bheda. Naturally, then, there will be fear because a difference between the individual and the Lord implies duality between the individual and the world. And duality between the individual and the world means duality between individual and individual. Once you accept a duality between the individual and Ishvara, you will find difference, bheda, everywhere. So the basis of fear is the other, duality. And when duality exists, there is karma. And when there is karma, there is fear. So fear exists only when desire is there. And it comes from the fact that I am only this much, everything else is other than me, and I have to get it. If you think that you are different from Ishvara, you will think that you are different from the world and from everyone else in the world. And in this world of duality, you are an insecure person. Therefore, the fear of danger from another source will always be there because the other will always be there. Fear comes from duality only. Any fear means that duality is there because you recognize the source of fear as something other than yourself. In Taittiriya Upanishad, I think it is mentioned, Dvaitat bhayam bhavati. It is only because of Dvaita that fear exists. You can even be afraid of yourself if you have created a split in yourself. There is an ideal I and an actual I. And the actual I is always frightening to the ideal I. This is also the reason why you are afraid of an insane person, provided you are sane, of course. Similarly, you may find that you are afraid of a person who is sad. There can be no fear if there is only one thing, vastu. A second thing is necessary for fear to occur. Therefore, the one who has no duality is not only free from raga dvesha, but is also free from fear. Anger also goes. Lastly, a wise person is free from anger, which is nothing but another form of raga. The desire itself is transformed into anger. First, the desire is in a very benign form, and then it is transformed into another form, an ugly form called anger. We will be seeing this later in the chapter. Kamat krodaha abhijayate. When what I want is not accomplished due to some obstruction, that very karma turns into anger, whose target is the obstruction. Whatever is obstructing my desire becomes the object of my anger. Many murders take place because the object of a person's love becomes the object of his or her anger. A man does not kill the loving woman, he kills only the obstinate, unwilling woman. And then he will cry for the loving one. Thus, when a person becomes an obstruction to your desire, that same person becomes the object of your anger. Anger is always mutilated, is always a mutilated, transformed, deflected form of karma. Therefore, if you are free of kama, desire, you will be free of krodha, anger. Like Gurudev says, all these negative emotions are nothing but distortions of love. So, because a person loves perfection, he is angry at imperfection. There is a desire for perfection, and therefore, when there is an obstruction to this perfection, to his desire, his or her desire, he or she becomes angry at imperfection. Same thing with jealousy, with greed. So, when a person is free from duality, he is free from kama, he is free from raga, dvesha, he is therefore also free from bhaya and krodha. Vita, raga, bhaya, krodha. Duality and fear. The word bhaya, fear, was put between the words raga and krodha because of its special significance, which is dealt with very well in the Shastra. The only way to be free of fear is by swallowing duality. And you cannot swallow duality unless there is no duality. And because there is no duality, it can be swallowed, but only through knowledge. This is the only way of getting rid of fear. Wherever there is duality, there is fear. Fear of mortality, fear of being put down, fear of being small, fear of not making it, and so on. Fear can
But
exist.
anger is only for the objects or the whatever we think perceive for that also.
It is not the objects. Anger is against the object of our obstruction. That
Okay.
object can be a person,
Okay.
isn't it? A person comes in the way of your desire being fulfilled. Like Chayana would mention this example. He would say this young boy at home, he sees his friends having a mobile phone, latest mobile phone. He already has one which is functioning, but he sees this and he wants this. So that sankalpa of getting the thought of getting the new phone is there. And he approaches his father. So the desire is to get a new phone. When he approaches his father and the father says, "No, you already have one. What is the need for the other?" So what is happening? His desire to get a new phone, there is an obstruction. And who is the obstruction? It's the father. So the father becomes the object of his anger. So he gets very upset with the father. So initially, the father is very loving. He is very respectful, loving to his father. But because the father becomes an obstruction, that very love transforms, it distorts into anger. Why? Because of his karma. And how did the karma arise? The karma arose because there is duality. He saw himself different from the world. He saw that I am not enough. If I get this phone, then I will be full. So basis of all of this is duality. And how can we get out of this duality? Is through knowledge. I will read this para again. Duality and fear. The word bhaya, fear, was put between the words raga and krodha because of its special significance, which is dealt with very well in the Shastra. The only way to be free of fear is by swallowing duality. And you cannot swallow duality unless there is no duality. And because there is no duality, it can be swallowed, but only through knowledge. This is the only way of getting rid of fear. Wherever there is duality, there is fear: fear of mortality, fear of being put down, fear of being small, fear of not making it, and so on. Fear can exist only as long as there is a seeker sought relationship, the very relationship implying duality between the seeker and the sought, and in the final analysis, duality between oneself and the Lord. Any small division whatsoever is enough to cause fear. Even to say Ishvara is everything and I am a part of him is enough. In fact, upon analysis, you will find that this concept is the very point from which everything becomes different. This difference is born out of a natural lack of inquiry, avichara, or non thinking. And if after inquiry, duality is still there, it is a tragedy. Because the Upanishads expect this kind of thinking or non thinking, they address the topic thoroughly, pointing out that as long as there is any division whatsoever, fear cannot be avoided. Again, the Taittiriya Upanishad says this: Bhishasmat Vatav Pavate, Bhishodeti Suryaha, Bhishasmat Agnischendrascha. So it is because of fear that the sun rises. It's because of fear that the wind blows. So as long as there is only Brahma, there is Advaita, there is no Dvaita. The moment Maya comes in, there is that split that happens. There is that duality that happens. And then everything else. So all the Pancha Mahabhutas, along with that, the whole creation. So it is only through inquiry, through vichara, that you get back to the ultimate truth that there is only one. So we have to swallow duality. This is something, I mean, this sentence is a little difficult. I mean, I didn't actually follow this. The only way to be free of fear is by swallowing duality. And you cannot swallow duality unless there is no duality. And because there is no duality, it can be swallowed, but only through knowledge. I mean, if you literally follow the sentence, it is a little difficult to understand how something can be swallowed when it does not exist. But when we look at it from the point of Maya, because Maya is something that as though exists, it has actually doesn't have an existence of its own, but it's as though existing. So therefore, duality, there is no duality. It can be swallowed, but only through knowledge. Only through knowledge can we come to the conclusion that Maya is an illusion. It is only an apparent, it's mithya. It is not satya.
Hari Om, Dr. Brahma.
Yeah.
What I understood was that uh, once you have that oneness with that Ishvara, that there is no bheda, then then there is no duality, right? And when uh, you have that, you are in that state of no duality. You are in Advaita, then only you can swallow the duality. And When you can swallow the duality, then there will be, like, you will be free of the fear. And like, if you take this sentence in the reverse way, the only way to be free of fear is by swallowing duality, and you cannot swallow duality unless there is no duality. So if we take from analyze it from from the end of this line, no duality would be when we are in that Advaita Bhav. Not bhavi, you are positioned in that Advaita. You have no duality. Like, you are one with you are one with that higher consciousness. Then you can easily swallow the duality. And when that you swallow the duality, means that you have no bheda. When you have no bheda, then there is no fear. You are free from that fear. This is how I, because Maya would be again taking you away from the Brahman. So it will again have that duality feeling will be there. So I think we have to connect with Brahman. Then only that duality will be will be getting rid of duality and the fear.
Yeah.
Only when you touch with Advaita, that is when you are with yourself,
Yes.
then only duality will go. That is
Maya too will again entrap you.
Yeah. No, that will grab you, but you are strong, no, already. Always with the center, you are in that environment, means in that energy, that Maya will not enter, but it's a very delicate. You have to be always very sthitat prajna, means sthita. Atmanyem atmanam, means within that you have to be sthira. Kutastha, you have to be kutastha. Then only the duality vanishes. Otherwise, little bit here, again you fall in the duality. But once you reach there, there's no coming back. That is, there's also there. But to reach up to that, it's very, very slippery. It's a once you reach there, when you are in Advaita, Dvaita is not at all there. Advaita
What
is
I
there is no.
think, what I think, Bhaya, Raga, and Krodha, these if three or maybe six Shadripus is overcome, only then we will be towards the duality, non-duality, and then it will be solved.
How Bhaya will go?
No, because of the means non-duality, you will feel, then only it will go.
Yeah,
Na?
then only means we have to
It's
reach
a
there
catch
first.
99 like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. That's what. That's it. Egg came first or hen came first. We don't know.
But for a karma yogi, because there is this recognition of Ishvara, there is that trace of duality exists until jnana dawns. And that is the basis of duality also, is this duality between Jiveshwara Bheda is the first step towards duality, and then becomes Jiva Srishti duality, Bheda, and then Jiva Jiva Bheda. Because there is this difference between oneself and the Lord, you see a difference between yourself and the creation, yourself and another jiva. So once that is, so any small division whatsoever is enough to cause fear. Even to say Ishvara is everything and I am a part of him is enough. In fact, upon analysis, you will find that this concept is the very point from which everything becomes different. This difference is born out of a natural lack of inquiry, avichara or non thinking. And if, after inquiry, duality is still there, it is a tragedy. Because the Upanishads expect this kind of thinking or non thinking, they address the topic thoroughly, pointing out that as long as there is any division whatsoever, fear cannot be avoided. A Muni is a thinking person, a person of inquiry, and the knowledge, dhi, of the Muni stays sthita. That is, it does not swing and sway. The Muni does not think duality, Dvaita one day and non duality, Advaita the next, just because someone has put forth a cogent argument. In fact, Dvaita is not knowledge, it is a belief. Regardless of the number of objections raised, Advaita is something you know. You may not be able to communicate it to someone else, but you know it because it is yourself. It is not something you have to believe. It is a freedom from all notions. Advaita is all that is there. This is reminds me of the Atma Anatma. There are only two things, Atma and Anatma. In Nirvana Shatakam explanation that Swamiji had given, he says there is only Atma, only two things, Atma and Anatma. Anatma is everything that you can perceive, including your body, mind, senses, intellect, ego. All of that is what you can perceive. So all that becomes Anatma. That I that exists is the only truth. That is, and remaining in that, that is you are the center of everything. So that is the only thing that exists because everything else is an object of your perception. We have seen that the person whose knowledge stays is called a sthita prajna, a wise person. Sannyasi is also a word to point out jnana nishta, one whose knowledge is firm and abiding. This word was brought in by Shankara here because he did not think that one could be a jnani without being a sannyasi. As we proceed, we shall see that Shankara's sannyasa is always jnana, nothing less.
Can't hear you, Brahmaraji.
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just letting this sink in. So, before we go to the next verse,
We just have to remember that beautiful shloka, Pratasmarami, uh, that Atma Tattvam, which is the Paramhamsa Gatim Turiyam. All those who are Paramhamsa, they found that Sat Chit Ananda, which is nothing but the Atma Tattva.
So when we look at knowledge, how knowledge helps in swallowing duality, in bringing us to that Advaita. All our knowledge points that we've learned, being accepting, all the 5 knowledge points in our happiness course is bringing us to that state where that fear, that duality diminishes, and therefore everything else, the cascade of things that happens with duality. See, we become a football of others' opinion because we think there is the other. And then we are so concerned about what will others think. So it is another way of looking at Advaita. It is another way. So you stop becoming a football of others' opinion. So you're slowly diminishing that sense of duality, as in you feeling secure within yourself. I'm not sure whether I'm able to put forth what I want to convey. Even for instance, accepting the person and situation. Once you're in acceptance, then you're secure within. All this is coming back to being secure, being calm, being centered within. If you do not see intention behind others' mistakes, what is happening? The other person is not benefited. You are benefited because you have that calmness in your mind. Your mind is not ruffled.
And that comes only with that fullness, abundance feeling, and letting go of so many things
Yes.
based on the situation.
Acceptance means karmanyavadikaraste, means whatever, you don't worry about the result. You accept whatever coming, whether it is for you or against you. That is the acceptance. Samatva bhava will come, automatic. So with this acceptance, all these 3 points, you're not worried about the result, and samatva bhava, and whatever has come to you, you accept it as a prasada. That all points are covered in only one knowledge point, that is acceptance.
Even that daya and all that 4, 5 things described before, that also we have to follow. So the anger will not arise when we know about ignorance or dispassion for that things or something like that.
Samatva bhava will come, automatic, in acceptance.
Correct.
Whether it is good or bad, you accept it. Samatva bhava. Automatically samadhi happens.
basically, then it is the training of the mind. Mind is the only culprit which is leading to all
Germany.
type of like this anger, fear. The root cause is the mind. Yes.
And in recently, I have understood that all these 5 knowledge points, it's, of course, we say it is you have to live it, and it is for you. But we tend to think, oh, we have to apply it outside as well, other outside of us. But I felt that only when will you accept other people, situations, and things? Only when you accept yourself. Because you're not able to accept yourself, you're not able to accept people outside of you, situations outside of you. So this samatva bhava comes only when we apply all these 5 knowledge points first within us and then reflect it outside. This is a recent discovery I got,
So
and it
again, it
has
is
helped me.
boiling to the
But
desires, the same person's desires and obstructions. Again, that thing, continuous cycle.
That is the whole point of Atmanyevatmana Tushtaha, right? That is the previous verse we've seen. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha sthita prajnastadochyate. So when you are in total acceptance of yourself, you are content, you are secure within. You don't need to reach out to another. So, irrespective of what the other person does or not does or does not do, it does not affect you. So, that is the
No,
highest form.
that time, other person is not at all there.
It is not there.
You see?
So, that's the whole thing about being content. What Patanjali, Maharshi Patanjali says of being that santosha. It's a practice. It's a practice, yes, till you become. For a sadhak, it is a practice. But for a sthita prajna, a siddha, it is already established. So he is happy by himself. He does not need anyone. And when you're happy by yourself, you're in that Advaita bhav. You're not in Dvaita. You don't need anything else to come and complete you. You realize you are the source of happiness. So you don't even reach out outwardly. There is no need to feel happy or to become happy because you are the source of joy.
That's what happens when you the knowledge points of the advanced course. Viveka, dispassion, and the sixth wealth. In that sixth wealth, the last one is that samadhana, that is contentment. So all this happen only when you have viveka of atma and anatma, and dispassion automatically happens. Means you are not attached to many things. So the dispassion automatically comes. And the sixth wealth grows. So all these are connected. Almost everything. So Guruji has given us the practical way of reaching to this with the basic course and advanced course. Jai Gurudev. Tell Belaji.
Hariom. Yeah, I just want to ask, like, till we are work in progress, can we accept silence as one of the weapons till we are fully knowledge? Because there are situations and people around us which uh, back and forth, moment to moment. I mean, it becomes like a continuous effort. And till we be there, can we accept silence as one of the weapons?
Yeah, you can make it as a weapon, and in silence everything comes out. When you reach there, everything comes through the silence. The purpose of the word is to go to silence. That is what Guruji says. And that is a weapon only. First you use it as weapon, and then it is your strength also. It becomes
Silence
your
can
strength.
again, uh,
Huh?
silence can again be categorized in two ways. Like one silence when you are peaceful inside, and other silence that there is so much of turmoil inside and you are keeping silence. So
Yeah, well said.
But here it is, we are not talking of passive acceptance.
yeah, I was
Active
just
acceptance.
I was just
Otherwise,
categorizing the silence. Normally, people they are angry inside, but they keep silent. That would harm
It
oneself
does more
and
harm. Yes.
more harm. Yeah, and to the person also, and of course the environment too. But when we are in we are in total acceptance and in silence, then that is a strength and it is a weapon for basically for the sadhak. It is for the sadhaks, as Belaji said.
Well said. Well said, Savitaji. Very, very good.
Yeah,
So
very nice point.
yeah, I was just like normally people have that cold war. No? That is not good. It is harmful. Yeah.
It will be just like a pause between two thoughts before we react or respond to any situation or people.
That is
Just
the
that
weapon.
pause, yeah. Because usually it happens like that. It is just through the speech you hurt people.
And one way I think silence is like even if you are angry, what I think is the words do more harm than silence. So if some words coming out of anger, they hurt the people more and they stay with that person, those words. So even if we are angry, though the anger hasn't subsided, but I think we should not speak out the words which may disturb the person or the environment more, like they may affect more. The words are affecting more. So in that way also, silence should be maintained by the person, even though he or she is angry, because this say no that the words cannot be reverted back. They are spoken, so they will affect the person who for whoever you are speaking. So it's better not to speak bad word. It's better to remain silent, though you are angry inside.
No, therefore Guruji says, no, the words has to end in silence. Means if you speak such things, that it has to become peaceful, not disturb. The purpose of words is to silence. That is what Guruji says. So such a beautiful meaning. Just he said that one sentence. In that sentence, the purpose, when you speak, it has to produce silence in the other's mind.
Yeah.
That is what you said, the same thing.
Yeah.
So the Guruji's sentence very nicely said. The purpose of words are to become silence. That is what. So we have to remember that. Guruji's words, really, Guruji's knowledge is such a beautiful. If you analyze, go on analyzing it, it's such a, each word has a meaning. He doesn't speak any even one word more than what is needed. Jai Gurudev.
And here, the basic fundamental error here, it is pointed out by Swamiji so beautifully, that when you consider the other as someone different from you or someone different, then these all things happen. So when you consider you are one with the whole creation, then there is no, that vichara itself is so beautiful.
When you consider yourself as the whole, there is no other. When other comes, then all this fear, everything comes with it. So when you are Atmaneva Atmanam Tishtati, means when you are centered exactly where, that is what Guruji says, when you are centered, no one can disturb you. That non-fearness, everything comes to Abhayam. Abhayam automatically comes when other is not there. Bhaya comes only because of the other. In nature, everything will be moving around. Only when the who goes for the hunting, the hunter comes, the other comes that time. Fear starts. Then everyone is in the danger. Otherwise, they are smoothly flowing. And when you take everything as one, that time even in jungle you will not fear. Everything becomes one. And there are instances of many Gurujis. We have that Siddharur Swami, no? He was in this one, he was riding on the tiger, as they say. He has no fear because he thinks it is only one. And it was true also. Many things have happened that way. Atmaneva Atmanam Tishtati. So be firm, sthita prajna, sthita. Be sthita in your soul, in the self. Until that, you have to meditate. Meditation is the only way to reach that state. Samatva, samadhi, samatva bhava.
It is through this knowledge, yeah.
Yeah.
Will bring us that sense of centeredness, calmness.
Yes.
Where knowledge will take place. So
Automatic.
it is knowledge that this.
No, you're practically living it, no? You hear the knowledge, but you don't do the practical. Samadhi is only the practical way. That is a meditation. That is what Guruji is emphasizing on it. Therefore, he gave the first Sudarshan Kriya. You are in the Samadhi that time. He gave you that. Then other things all follow. That Ashtanga Yoga, all follow. He gave you the highest one, Samadhi, earlier only. That is one Anga. And when you pull one Anga, all Angas will come. And once you are in Samadhi, everything will come to you. Automatic. Though it may be simpler, though it might be very slow process, but it will reach. You will reach there. You are already reached there with Sudarshan Kriya.
See, I think we should understand here Sudarshan Kriya and all our practices, including meditation, are sadhanas, they are tools for us to reach a steady state of mind, a steady state of that antakarna naishchalya and antakarna shuddhi. But no, even Gurudev himself has said, no amount of doing, no amount of your practices will make you enlightened, will get you moksha. The only way down through moksha is that realization. It is that knowledge that brings it about. So all our whatever we are doing is towards that common goal. Which is why he says you must pursue knowledge, wisdom. Wisdom purifies the intellect.
I agree with it. Automatically it will come.
Yeah. So otherwise everybody is doing Sudarshan Kriya would be enlightened because they are in Samadhi. But that's not the case.
No, it will slowly. It is a slow process.
Work in progress. No?
Yeah.
We're all work in progress. So we're all sadhaks still. In fact, I would say even being a karma yogi in the true sense of the definition of karma yogi itself is a very difficult thing to achieve. It's not just a concept. It is you have to live a karma yogi's life. So that itself is a big thing. So while we purify ourselves little by little with this knowledge, we continue our practices so that we refine our inner thinking. Little by little, that the impurities of the mind get settled and then are cleansed. We're cleaning. It's all a cleaning process. Till we get the mirror that is completely clean, and then you're able to look at yourself. So here Shankara says, we have seen that the person whose knowledge stays is called a sthita prajna, a wise person. Sannyasi is also a word to point out jnana nishta, one whose knowledge is firm and abiding. This word was brought in by Shankara here because he did not think that one could be a jnani without being a sannyasi. As we proceed, we shall see that Shankara's sannyasa is always jnana, nothing less. So when in this context, sannyasi means one who has jnana nishta. So he's talking about the vidvat sannyasa. So I will just chant the next verse and we'll start that tomorrow. Further, Krishna said, Yas sarvatranabhisnehaha tat prapya shubha shubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratishtita. For the one who is unattached in all situations, who does neither rejoices on gaining the pleasant and nor hates the unpleasant, his knowledge is well established. So we'll take this up tomorrow.
Jai Gurudev, can I ask one question?
Yeah, please go ahead.
I guess some of you have done Siam too. And I just want to know how many days it is. Anyone has
4
done
days.
Siam? 4 days. Oh,
4 days.
all right. Thank you.
ॐ लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ तत्सत् श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। जय गुरुदेव।
This moment, living meditation is accepting this moment, living every moment totally with depth. Let us keep our spine erect and body relaxed and eyes closed. Relax your shoulders. Keep a big smile on your face. You're sitting like the statue of Buddha, very serene and with a serene smile on your face. Relax your body. Let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your chest region, throat and chest region. If you notice some tension in the body, just let it be. Accept those parts of the body where you feel a tension. The other parts are in comfort. Other parts are at peace. Become aware of that also. There are many good things about you and inside of you. Acknowledge them. They will never leave you. And the negative aspect you may see in you is never going to stay with you forever. They are all guests for some time. Let them be. Sit with the total acceptance of yourself the way you are at this very moment. Total acceptance of what is now here will lead us to deeper meditation. Let go of all the efforts. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let go of all your effort and be in this emptiness. And slowly and gradually become aware of body and surroundings. And you may gently open your eyes.